WAOH is brought to you in part by Jumpstart Video, online at jumpstartvideo.com.
Today, I'm with Tawayne Mcgee. He is a human rights activist. Tawayne, how are you today?
All is well, Ms. Wade. How are you?
I am good. I want to just hear a little bit about yourself to start us off and how you got into activism.
Well, my name is Tawayne Mcgee. I'm born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I started active in politics in 2016 when the Republican National Convention came to Cleveland.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a really interesting time for the city of Cleveland and also America. Of course, Cavaliers, they just won the championship in 2016.
Yeah, they did.
Very happy Cleveland, Ohio won as well. So so from there, Ohio has been a very interesting statewide color since then when it comes to elections and everything too. So
that's absolutely true. And so what made you excited about getting involved in politics? What made you want to become an activist? Like, what inspired that for you?
Well, once again, starting in 2016, I was originally an entertainer before I got into politics.
Okay.
But
what kind of entertainment?
Acting and comedian.
Okay, that's awesome. No, I love that.
Yeah.
We just had some comedians on the show a couple weeks ago. So.
Oh, I'm sure look forward to hearing their stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going from entertainment to politics was not an easy switch, but I must say it was a stumble for me politically. I had no regrets. Traveling on the political trail since then, I have been elected as a precinct committeeman in the city of Cleveland, Democratic. Did that from 2018 to 2022.
Okay.
Not choosing to run for re-election, I chose to run for Cleveland City Council then.
Okay.
In 21. I didn't make past the primary, but when you run against a 16-year incumbent with a lot of money backing them, it's an interesting challenge. So since 2021, I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to be a human rights activist. I'm going to travel throughout the state advocating for voters from a non-party perspective.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so share a little bit about that. And so I know you actually were chatting with me a little bit before this interview, and you were saying that you're really passionate about getting people out to vote. And so share a little bit about your passion behind that.
Yes. Well, once again, I remember when I was like turning 18, because I grew up under the Obama era presidency. So, with his words and basically inspiring me to first, register to vote. That's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
And then, you just go on from there, Of course, for me, 2016 was like the first presidential election that I voted in.
Okay.
And I was very inspired by it. Bernie Sanders was like the first one that kind of spoke out to me. And of course, he ran for president twice. He is a very interesting gentleman. I must say some of his policies I don't always agree on, but, with him being an independent U.S. senator, he brings a very interesting political view to the youth as well as the elders.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And then so beyond getting people inspired to vote, what other things do you like to go out and talk to people about as a human rights activist?
Of course, nonpartisan issues, water reform, education, human trafficking. Sex trafficking is a very big issue. No matter if it's a small town or a big city, it's a very big issue. And what I like to do is connect with the elected officials as well as the residents. Well, more the residents because they see a lot that the elected officials cannot.
That's true.
Yeah, and of course, me as a resident myself, we feel that we are not being heard by the elected officials. So we communicate with fellow activists to possibly build a united front to communicate with the elected official as well. And if they're not going to bring light to these issues, then we're going to be looking for a new candidate.
Yeah, and that's actually really important when you become a group, when you get a group of people together and then you go as a group to the elected official, it's more likely that they're going to hear you, right? Rather than just one person going to them. And so is that part of the work that you do is kind of gathering people together and getting people to notice certain issues and then taking them to the elected officials?
Of course. Some of us, we are all different activists. Some of us are environmentalists. I'm a very good admirer of the environmentalists, although I do recycle. But,
But that's not where you put your energy.
no, not really. I have to communicate, when it comes to issues, once again, voter reform, education, human trafficking, those are the top three, and still adding more to the repertoire.
Yeah.
So when I communicate with the environmentalists and I say, listen, you share with me about your things about recycling or other things when it comes to global warming.
Right.
And perhaps we can double team it and bring it to the candidate who's running against the incumbent or the incumbent who's running for re-election. Because either one, somebody's going to get elected. No matter if
Right,
it's
absolutely.
Democrat or Republican, and we have to work with the person who gets elected because they have the power to bring the light to the issue.
No, that's really good. Tawayne, what is next for you? What are you doing right now? I know you said this is an election year. There are some elections happening. I know here in Akron, we have some Akron City Council positions that are open and people are running for election. What is next for you?
Well, currently right now, I reside in Cleveland, Ohio. We're getting ready for the council races and mayor's race for the city of Cleveland.
Okay.
So I'm helping candidates run for public office within the city of Cleveland. Perhaps I might run. I haven't given up on running for public office. I'm just waiting for that time. So if not now, then at a later time.
Right.
But I'm still active in the community. I'm still active in the state.
All right, so you're just helping people to, number one, register to vote. We love that. Get people out there, getting people to vote, talking to them about these important human rights issues, and then helping other people to run for election. Yes?
Of course. And along with that, we have the Ohio governor's race in 2026. That is a very big one statewide, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So how will you help people to get ready for that?
Well, we already got a couple of candidates who are running for Ohio governor, mostly on the Republican side. We do have one on the Democratic side. I will not name names.
Okay.
But I look for the voters to do the research and do the homework as well as that too. But one thing about me, I'm happy to alert them that we have a governor's race coming up.
That's happening.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. So if someone hasn't registered to vote, since you're so passionate about that, what are ways that they can register? How do you register to vote? If someone's watching and they're like, hey, I'm just freshly 18. Maybe they're a brand new voter, or maybe someone that's never registered before. How do they do that?
Well, for me, I usually just go to the Board of Elections and ask for a voter registration form, and then just fill it out right there, and then send it in, to whoever one of the representatives is that works at the Board of Elections. I'm kind of old-fashioned.
Wonderful. So people can go down to their Board of Elections. I'm sure they can find it on their Board of Elections website as well.
Oh, of course.
Of course. All right. Thank you so much. Is there anything else? Let's try to just inspire the next generation as we finish this interview. Maybe someone is watching and they want to get into activism. What would you say to them?
Well, one thing about it though, if you are basically getting tired of, elected officials not doing what you feel they are not doing, in the words of former President Barack Obama, get a petition, collect signatures, and run for public office yourself. Or
yeah, absolutely, do something about it, right?
Yeah, you can always do something, no matter if it's protesting, marching, or as well as that too. We all have the right of free speech, as long as you're not going around threatening anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But do something positive about it.
Do something positive.
I love the idea of, getting that petition and just making a change, right?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Some change is better than no change.
Exactly. Thank you, Tawayne. Appreciate you being here today. How can people find you if they want to get in touch with you?
You can find me at TAWAYNEMCGEE@gmail.com, TawayneMcgee@gmail.com.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, thank you guys so much for watching Good Morning Akron. We had a great show. Make sure you stay tuned. We've got more great stuff coming up next.